For a child, that grew up in a place where, what was like mostly prevalent was like crimes, drugs, but for me, chess gave me a new lease of life. So 5 years ago, I made a decision to go back to, the same place where I grew up and give other children the same opportunity. It wasn't because I was successful, or because I was, financially stable, not necessarily, but because I knew I had this talent and I could give it to other children as a gift that while I didn't understand at the time how I was going to take them out of poverty, I knew I was going to give them a new identity and something to be hopeful about. So it was just an idea that could bring hope to children, that were living in slums that didn't have access to education. So I had a few chess buds and I went there and I just started teaching them. In places like that, in a lot of these impoverished communities, people live just to survive, right? It's a race for survival, what to eat, how to just get through the day. So there's very little room for imagination, right? I believe the mind is anyone's greatest asset. Chess, for me, was like a disruptive tool, right? To teach the children that their greatest strength is not in physical strength or survival or trying to hustle, right? But in building intellectual capacity, right? To be able to show the world that despite all of the struggles in this place, the children can also be intellectually inclined. The only gap there is the lack of opportunity. The science of it is chess, helps build critical thinking, cognition, strategy, decision making, a lot of those things, right? But beyond all of that, being able to show that even children in these places with all of the struggle can also have this intellectual identity and can also learn chess in all its complexities. I mean, this is a prestigious game that is played and respected all over the world. And you see even people that are very intelligent struggle to understand it. So I think for a child in the slums that can gain mastery of it, right, it signals that they can, also do even greater things. I like to think of it as chess being not just an end in itself, right, where the children will become professionals and get to compete, right? But for us, we like to think of it as a means to several ends, right? Chess can be a gateway to other opportunities, to a community, to even education, to technology, right? And all of these things, right, are the reward systems that were built around the initiative to let the children know that, that dreams can take flight from something as simple as a chessboard. I believe education beyond the four walls of a classroom also is the capacity for thought. And so when we put it out there that chess can be a medium to education for them, because we are building a community of learners, children who now understand the value of knowledge, right? People started supporting. By just doing that, we've been able to support over 200 children to school that are now on lifelong scholarship support. Our trip to Kenya and Uganda is not just for Chess in Slums Africa, right? I'm representing the Gift of Chess. So the Gift of Chess is an organization in New York. So they're one of our partners. So Gift of Chess last year, we decided to get 10,000 sets from China. So we brought them into Africa. So we distributed them from Nigeria to Togo to Ghana to Kenya and to Uganda. I mean, for Uganda, we were able to work with Ronald. So Ronald is the founder of Caribou Foundation. So Ronald was someone that we connected with, that was already working in the slums of Uganda to help change the lives of young people. So we sent those boards about 8 months ago, and we were able to set up like a structure around it, for volunteers to help with the tutoring and to start a proper chess program. We decided to travel down 2 weeks ago to visit a lot of the centers to see what is on ground and to see how we can even take what we've started and make it into a global movement. And the program is already growing. We have almost 100 learners, right, in these communities, in the slums of Katwe, at the bus terminal in Kiseni. And you see a lot of street kids with no hope. They've been given hope through chess, and because someone here is on ground, right, that is brave enough to take a chance on them. Children have found a safe space to gather together, to learn, to share ideas, right? So ultimately, we've seen what is on ground in the slums of Kenya, in the slums of Uganda here, and we see that the project is working. The impact, is tangible, right? So we're now trying to make sure we can create more opportunities where even the outstanding players here, they can get opportunities to travel to New York, to compete in tournaments, to compete in global tournaments, and to be able to have like monthly tournaments for the children here, right? And to also put the very vulnerable ones on scholarship support. 5 years down the line, our impact has transcended just the children to being able to inspire people all over the world to do the same things, right? So it's hard to like capture it in numbers, right? But for Gift of Chess and Chess in Slums, we've been able to impact the lives of over 10,000 children now. Children, they're like messages we're sending to a time that we will not see. And any society that neglects children living in extreme poverty, right, is basically saying that they're not ready to invest in the future, right? We will not be around for that future. So they're the ones that we're sending to that future. And if we're not empowering them with the right skills, with the right education, with the right opportunities, they will become a liability to that future. Just like in chess, the pawn can become the queen, right? But the pawn has to face a lot of hurdles to get to the final rank before it can become a queen. And that is the story of the African child. It is not just one that ends with their situation, with their present circumstance, but it's a story of becoming. And I believe, Chess in Slums, Gift of Chess, Caribou Foundation, we are spearheading this revolutionary idea, of helping the African child become. I was successful 5 years ago, even before this became a thing, right? And I'd always been contented with that. So I would say that I feel deeply fulfilled because the only metric for success here, right, is validated in the lives of the children, right? To see them go from 0 to 100, to get them go from 0 to 1. To see a child who can't even speak an English word or who couldn't do anything with his mind, now using words like prophylaxis when we're analyzing together, now being able to like express themselves, building confidence, right, that they know that, that they have a place in this world and they too can go on to become, societal role models. And that is the greatest fulfillment in all of this for me, to see children, become all they are destined to be.